Have another speaker, Hector Bustos, who is lifelong resident of Santa Ana, and he went to the Santa Ana schools and went off to get his degree at the University of San Francisco. A nice little vacation from Santa Ana, but you're a first generation college graduate, and you got your degree in politics with a minor in public service, so and community engagement. And you are very involved in advocating for investment in mental health services, the arts, inclusive curriculum, and free public transportation for young people. So that's all very.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me and allowing me to re-engage in this space. I've been a member of Lavender Dems on and off, definitely haven't been in this space for some time. Being in elected office is a really busy job, but any chance that I get to reconnect with folks, re-engage with folks, I take the opportunity. So I want to thank Stephanie for allowing me just a couple minutes today to talk a little bit about the great work that's happening in Santa Ana Unified. But before I talk about that, I just want to introduce myself and share a little bit about who I am and my story and how I got here today. So I was born and raised here in Santa Ana. I have lived in the same home that I lived when I got home from the hospital in Area 5 on the southeast end of the city. I am a child of an immigrant mother who raised 3 kids on her own. And I'm a proud product of our public school system here in Santa Ana, and was lucky enough to be the first in my family to go to college and was able to move to San Francisco and receive my undergraduate degree there. So a little bit about my story. As a student in our Santa Ana public schools, I never felt safe enough to come out, to really express my identity. I didn't feel safe enough to come out to my family at home. And so throughout my entire childhood, up until I got to college and moved away to San Francisco, where you can visibly see the community and feel that sense of safety and security, it was when I finally decided and had the strength and the courage and the community to come out and share that part of my identity. And so I came out to my friends at the age of 18, and then finally was able to come out to my family at the age of 22, just 3 months before I announced my candidacy for school board in 2022. And for me, the reason that I came out in 2022 to my family was because I knew that I wanted to run a campaign that where I wasn't compromising any of my values, any of my identities, and I wanted to run as my full whole self. And it was important for me. It was important for me that my family knew that side of me, because I knew that as a board member in a city that historically has not been very open to the LGBTQ plus community because of machismo in our Latino community, right? That. I knew that as a board member, I wanted to tackle issues and work alongside our LGBTQ plus students to make sure that they had spaces in their schools to feel safe, where they felt like they could come out and be their full selves, right? And so since I came on board, I got to work, and we passed a policy early on, really just codifying the rights of our transgender, gender non-binary, gender non-conforming students. Within that policy, making clear that as a school district, we were providing gender identity support planning for those students who were in the process of transitioning. Made sure that there was a commitment that our students were able to play in sports that aligned with their gender identity, and ultimately just supporting our transgender, gender non-binary students. We also were able to hire a full-time LGBTQ plus liaison who is working directly with our GSAs at the secondary level. I'm happy to share that every single one of our secondary schools, so all of our intermediate and high schools, have an established GSA club because of the work and because of the commitment. So this GSA liaison works directly with the club advisors to be able to organize, to build that support, build that capacity to support those LGBTQ plus students. For the very first time in 2024, the school district raised the pride flag in a time when cities and the county were banning the pride flag altogether, it was important that as a school district, we showed our solidarity and our commitment to our students, to all of our students. Woo-hoo! And yeah, thank you. And so, so my commitment to, of course, our LGBTQ plus students is personal, because these are all the things that I wished that I had as a student that I didn't. And so today we're seeing that Santa Ana has become the epicenter of immigration enforcement. So that is just another issue that our students, our young people are facing on a daily basis. And so back in November of 2024, before Donald Trump was inaugurated, I had a conversation with the superintendent about our need to be proactive. Like, we had to take Trump's promises on the campaign trail seriously. And I knew from what was happening in 2016 that our community was going to be hit hard by immigration enforcement, by the raids. And so we had to be ready. And so as a result of that, we passed a resolution that made it very clear that the district would not be collaborating with ICE. We would not be sharing any personal student data, that we were going to have protocols in place for our front office staff. If an ICE immigration enforcement officer were to come to the school site, that we were going to offer trainings to all of our staff to know how to respond if they ever encountered an ICE officer in or around the campus, to make sure that we were working alongside community-based organizations who were providing Know Your Rights training so that our community in Santa Ana was prepared. We've trained nearly 15,000 people in our community because of those efforts. And also providing virtual options for our students and families, because we knew and we told families that the safest place for their children was our schools, but we also understood that families were not fully confident and sure if that was true. And so we provided those virtual options, both short-term and long-term, for our students so that their learning would not be impacted by immigration enforcement, right? And of course, making sure that we had a very intentional multi-tiered system of support in dealing with our students' mental health, knowing that this was impacting the mental health and well-being of our students too, right? And so, making sure that we had a team that was supporting our students at the school sites from the district office, and of course, providing that support to our families. So all of this to say is that we've been able to do a lot of great work, and I'm here just to talk about the issues related to LGBTQ plus youth, as it's closely aligned with the club. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the work that we were doing to support our immigrant students, just given the location that we're in here in the city of Santa Ana. But also want to share the real threat of what our board is up against, having somebody who was just elected in 2024 who is aligned with the values of MAGA Republicans, who is somebody that is pro-charter, anti-public schools, who is somebody that will take any opportunity to lie, to share falsehoods about the positive pro-LGBTQ plus work that we're doing in our district to support our students, who will bash our efforts to keep our kids alive when we talk about mental health, because we're quote unquote indoctrinating kids and pushing some LGBTQ plus agenda. And so that's the threat that we're up against with this board member. And luckily we are a solid 4-1 board, but the threat is coming this November. Two of us are up for re-election this November. And so this election really is going to determine our board majority, and will determine the future of public education in Santa Ana, and the future of the protections and the work that we've done to uplift and support our LGBTQ plus students in this city. And so it's something that I have had to really think about and make sure that it was the right choice ahead. And I'm happy to share with you all that I have decided to run for re-election this year because I believe that our youth are worth fighting for. Because I believe that our LGBTQ plus youth, now more than ever, need people in office who represent them. need someone in office that understand the struggles that they're going through. Need someone in office that are going to be partners in the work ahead. And of course, making sure that our families also feel that support and feel supported by our board. And again, I'm excited about the work ahead, excited to work alongside you all in this fight to uphold the rights. I mean, quite literally, it's just the rights, right? Our rights as LGBTQ plus people. But more than anything, really protect the soul of this community. Because what's happening in Santa Ana is that we have right-wing forces that are coming in, like the current board member, who isn't running on the values of Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans. They're running on things that parents obviously care about, like test scores, like student achievement, right? And those are things that I also want to focus on. But we can't do that if our students are facing mental health issues that are related to immigration enforcement. We can't do that if we have a large population of homeless youth in our school district. We can't do that if our students are facing food insecurity, right? And so these are all the issues that our students in Santa Ana are facing on a daily basis, and are issues that we need to continue to think about and work through and address, so that then we can really focus on the academic piece, because we owe that to our students and families. And so I'm excited about the work ahead, excited to work alongside you all, and definitely open to any questions or discussions. But thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
So I appreciate you being here because I think it's an opportunity to hear, again, part of you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because I think that people like you are so important to have on a board. Obviously, it was mentioned about the people that represent labor that are here and everything else.
Right.
Brenda, the other school board member, got on because another member of the board decided to so disrespect labor and the teachers. It got to the point to where labor around here, not just the teachers, had to take a strong stance, which also the Democratic Party of Orange County took. And it was towards the end, and it wasn't time for someone to run. I'm not asking you to agree or disagree with that. My concern is that in checking on things before coming here, there's still issues between you personally and the labor union. And what I tried to do before was to create a bridge so that we weren't there. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told the other person. We need you. Like, our kids need you. But they also need their teachers to have working conditions that are the best ones, because the working conditions are students' learning conditions.
Right.
So are you willing to commit to not just go ask for an early endorsement, because I did check on stuff before I got here, and not to push a certain timeline, but to really try and engage on a respectful level? And I'm willing to help however, and I'm not saying it's only me,
Right.
but we can't wait until it gets worse over the summer, and then there'd be threats of, well, we're gonna get another Brenda.
Right.
None of us want that.
Right.
You'd be great to be there. But are you willing to commit to really try and repair that relationship? Because I think that it's an important relationship that we don't need to be wasting time on fighting each other.
Right. I agree. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for that. And so just to provide some context for folks who might not be fully aware, but we had, the board had to make a difficult decision last year to unfortunately lay off our educators because of the budget deficit that our school district was facing. And so with that decision, I'm going to be honest, a lot of trust was broken, and I understand that. And there were real human consequences to that decision. And that's something that I will never deny. And so my answer to your question is yes. And I've made that commitment to our labor partners, specifically our teachers union already, to sit down and have a conversation. I already have had the opportunity to sit down with our teachers union president, and we had a very long conversation, and it's there. We agree, right? We can't wait.
Just, again, no, and I'm not gonna argue through the chair.
Right.
I just wanna be very clear.
Right.
I'd rather just a yes, and then we can talk.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
otherwise, I spoke to her right before I got here.
Yeah.
I spoke to her this weekend.
Okay.
And I would like to be more of a bridge than anything
Right,
else. And
right,
that's not where it's at. And I just think that it's an important relationship that we can work on together before it does become, again, a back and forth.
Right. Yeah. Then the simple answer is yes, 100%. That commitment is there. Yeah. And thank you for being willing to support that as well. Like, that means a lot. Thank
You're
you.
the model of one of the models that our kids need. And I wish I had when I was in school. So we're not here to tear down people that we're trying to get in, but we've got to try and make sure we have a coalition even when we disagree.
Right. Appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I've seen some of the board meetings, and I've seen how scary Brenda can be. And I just want to uplift you, Hector, and all the work that you've done. And I know you always have the flag on the podium, which I really appreciate. And then Brenda has her other kind of conservative flag. And so I can't even imagine having one more Brenda on that board. And so I just want to say that we need you. Our students need you. I'm not down. I feel like most folks are down. And we're gonna support you as well. Whether that's rebuilding relationships, whether that's helping you canvas, walk, fundraise. You're one of the only LGBTQ folks in office in the county.
Hell yeah.
I really just want to emphasize that for folks. And so, yeah. Just want to give
Thank you.
appreciation.
Thank you, Boomer.
I teach in Tustin.
Okay.
It's great that Allison's here too.
Uh-huh.
And we have schools in Tustin, Irvine, Santa Ana. So I'm just curious if there's any collaboration, because our board is kind of similar dynamics here. It's not quite as bad, but you never know.
Yeah.
Is there collaboration that you do with the neighboring school districts, or what does that look like?
So we're not there yet. I know that, when we're able to get together in spaces like this, these are long conversations that other board members and I have of how we're dealing with this, but there hasn't been, I think, an intentional attempt to really have discussions about how we organize against this and make sure that this isn't happening. And I think this is the part where, for me, it really is, I'm worried because, like I said, if these right-wing, anti-public education folks are able to flip the board in a city like Santana, it can happen in any other school district in the county. And this is conversations I've had with some folks, some board members over at Orange, who are actually colleagues of this board member when she was a board member in Orange, who told me that, school districts are looking at the Santa Ana Unified election this year, because if they're able to be successful, it's just going to be something that they're going to replicate, that model, in school districts across the county. And so that's why, yes, I'm remaining strong in rebuilding relationships and having conversations, because I know what is at stake. And I don't want that to happen to our kids. I don't want our kids to have to go through that. Yeah, thank you. But yes, there isn't yet, but I know that is needed. That really is needed.
Do you know anything about your competition at this point for your seat?
So it's still pretty early on. Nobody has officially announced. I will say that I did have somebody come up to me who is somebody that lives in my area. And after doing a quick social media search, they are, right? Because the first thing I do, it's somebody that nobody knew, right? That nobody knows. And so it was kind of curious. So after doing a quick social media search, they're a huge MAGA Republican. And somebody who I think was also product of public schools. And, you always see them in our school district's page, comment section, just commenting all of these horrible things. And so that is what I know we're up against now, but that's what I've heard so far.
Will you ever do drag?
Whatever do drag? Oh, yes.
Keeping it real.
Yes, 100%. Well, this is actually something that I was telling one of my friends earlier this year, because I was thinking, I was thinking about long-term my fundraising. I'm thinking of maybe hosting a drag brunch or something like that, to be able to bring the community together sometime maybe during Pride. And so I was thinking maybe I'll get into drag or something, but that'll be fun. But yes, 100%. That would be a lot of fun. I've had my my makeup done full beat, but I've never been done the whole outfit and hair. So that's next. Yeah.
You rock that.
Yeah. I just can't imagine being the height that I am, putting on some heels and hitting. Yeah.
Makes it better.
Right. Right. Okay.
Can we give a big round of applause to Hector?